up.
Born ready.
All right, hello and welcome to Varsity Boys Soccer here from the Ellenville High School football field. It is Thursday, October 17th, 6:17 p.m. Scheduled kickoff time of 6 p.m. This is Mr. Buckler, and joining me in the commentary booth we have
Nick Candelaria.
What's up, Nick?
I'm doing good.
Welcome to the commentary booth. And can I start the time with the switch? I can. Look at that. I don't even need to keep score on my watch. We have a scoreboard. And upstairs in the video booth, we have two camera operators and a vision mixer made up of Heather, Jules, and Christian.
Christian Cherry.
Yeah. And we have a couple of other students here for support if we need it to help fix scoreboards. Although I think that was you before the game, right, Nick, fixing the scoreboard?
Yeah, me and Cherry.
So this is Varsity Soccer. Nick, if you pass me those two papers, then we can tell our listeners and viewers out there who is starting for both sides. So this is Varsity Boys Soccer, Ellenville Varsity in the pink, going from left to right. And a quick trivia question. Ellenville usually plays in blue and gold, but today they're in pink. Can you answer that question? Why, Nick?
Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Because you in fact were here for it last Friday. They played.
I was wearing pink before they were.
But they played the doubleheader game last Friday, Coaches versus Cancer game, which they do every year. You were here for that. I was here for that. And that's when they came out with these. Every year they come up with a pink strip for that day. And they figured tonight, why not wear it again? It is a nice jersey. So Ellenville,
I think they're going to be wearing them all of October, for every home game at least.
Yeah, well, once they reach sections, they may have to revert back to their blue. I think for the remainder of the regular season games, you're right, they'll probably wear them for all of October. But in sections, I don't know. There may be rules about having to wear. I may be wrong, but there might be some kind of rule saying you have to wear your traditional color once you get to the playoffs. Which,
there could be.
There could be, but we'll find out. So Ellenville has made the playoffs. Tonight they are playing, of course, in the all-white. Who are they playing, Nick?
I believe this is Saugerties,
That
right?
is correct, yeah. Coached by Michael Riley. And their record is 1-12, so Ellenville definitely the favorites coming into tonight's game. Their Ellenville's record is 9-3-1 overall, 6-3-1 in Mahal, 3-2-1 Division 3. So Ellenville the clear favorites coming into this game. I will announce the starters for Saugerties, and I'll pass this to you, and you can help announce the starters in just a sec for Ellenville. Hopefully you know most of the names. So for Saugerties, they're coached by Michael Riley, and they have in goal Dan McClassic, or McZack. And then the other starters, number 3, Sebi Salipo. Number 8, Anthony Numson. Number 9, Jack Quinlan. Number 10, Charles Baldwin. Number 12, Juan Erazo. Number 14, Ryan Curran. Number 17, Shan Sakan. Number 18, Ramiro Scarpa-Mead. Number 22, Mitch Hart. And number 24, Nick Bergen. And for the Ellenville Blue Devils, who we got?
We got number 4, Chris Leone. Number 5, Nerman Erbrick. Number 6, Noah Hemstreet. Number 8, Adrian Barros. Number 9, Fernando Silva. Number 10, Gavin Baxter. Number 11, Tyler Lamandola. Number 12, Dylan Corset. Number 19, Brandon Guba. Number 22, Spen Vucetovic. And 23, Alex Pauly.
All right, so Spen is the starting keeper tonight for Ellenville. Now, they used to be, there it is, right here. Now, as I mentioned before the game, a good attacking play there from Saugerties. Coming into this game, Saugerties are definitely considered the underdog. But so far, Saugerties has had a couple of good breaks on the attack. Ellenville hasn't dominated the opening 4 minutes here. So far, an open game, an even contest. And as I mentioned, Ellenville will be making sections. They have another regular season game coming up on Saturday. That's going to follow on from the Hall of Fame induction ceremony happening at noon this Saturday. There would have been an 8-man football game right after that, but the team that Ellenville, was supposed to face, their program ended. Ended.
Only had 9 players that consistently showed up,
So
and I believe you need at least 11.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of, I guess, indicative of why, for those who are curious as to why 8-man football exists, it's because schools like ourselves and those smaller than Ellenville can have a hard time putting together. Well, for 11-man football, a hard enough time putting together enough players. Is there what do you remember what is the minimum for an 11-man program?
For 11-man, the minimum was, I believe, 24.
Right, and I'm guessing Ellenville had a hard time reaching that or being consistent at that number, right?
Yeah.
So that's why this
last year before moving to 8-man, I believe we had like 24 on the dot.
Right, so we were right on that bubble, and so hence why this year Ellenville High School football program moved to an 8-man program where what's the minimum number for an 8-man?
11.
If you have 11 people, you can play 8-man football. And we have more than that. We
yeah,
have like
we have
20, right?
24, 25.
Right. Yeah, so we're right again on that bubble for the full man, but we more than easily make it for the 8 man. So do we typically play with players? Is it called strongman, Iron Man? When you go both ways, offense, defense.
An Ironman.
I've heard is there an expression for that? Like if you play offense and defense.
Yeah, usually somebody who does like all three, it's considered an Ironman.
Okay, and that's pretty much a lot of high school
Yeah,
players
most.
do that anyway, right?
Yeah, a
'Cause
lot of players do
if you're
both
varsity,
sides of the ball.
I mean you do. I take it.
I do defense and special teams. Offensively, I go in if I'm needed. Yeah, like
If Iron Man is needed, he'll be called upon. But otherwise, you're defense and special teams.
yeah.
Okay. So yeah, varsity 8-man football is what Ellenville High School is doing this year, and we have clinched sections, I believe, right?
Yeah, and the division.
And you clinched the division, so that means you get a banner.
Yep.
After
But-
the most recent victory last Saturday at Tri Valley. So congratulations, Nick, and to all the varsity football team as Baxter plays it across the stab at goal. First proper attack from Ellenville. Well blocked. In the end, Chris Leone trying to slam it home. But yeah, you guys have, as you mentioned, won the banner, won the section, and won the league. Is that what it is?
No, we're actually second seed, only behind the winner of Pine Plains and Pauling.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, not your intersections is what I meant
Yeah.
to say. Yes. And then you go straight into the semifinal.
Since there's 8 teams, we all have to play in the first round.
Okay. So there will be a quarterfinal
Yeah.
first. Okay. And do you know yet who you play? Or that's still
We
undecided?
will not know till Sunday.
Till Sunday. I believe that game will be next Friday.
Yeah.
Potentially at home or no?
Oh, definitely at home.
Definitely at home. So
Yeah.
it will be a home game next Friday, a
Yeah.
sectional football game, which is what you guys wanted. I remember you said like, do we win or if we lose we get a home game? Well, it looks like you won and you get a home game. So.
Now we got to do both.
Do you know who it's likely to be against? As in like one of 2 teams or one of 3 teams,
there's-
or it could be any
There's
of them
3 teams. It's
that it could be.
yeah. There's Millbrook, there's Sullivan West, and there's Fallsburg.
Millbrook, Sullivan West, or Fallsburg will be coming here next Saturday.
And there's Dover too.
Sorry, next Friday. We'll find out this Saturday or Sunday. So that's pretty cool. It'd be nice to get to a postseason or have some postseason success. So we're about 7 minutes in here at the high school football field under the lights. It's a nice chilly October day. We had a lot of rain overnight and some high winds, and the rain has stopped a few hours ago, which is nice. But it means the ground should be damp, but it wasn't overly wet. So it looks like a decent surface to play soccer on. You can see how dry it has been over the last few weeks and months, and that's the field itself is quite brown, and dry, but it has, been soaking up a lot of water overnight. So the ball will, the dirt's not kicking up like it often does. There's a nice ball across the box. The defender hikes it up. But so far, Ellenville has, in the last few minutes, been starting to exert some pressure and have some really good chances, only yards away from the goalkeeper of Saugerties in the bright orange, but they've been unable to make them count just yet. So Saugerties has, I think, 1 sub tonight.
It looks like that
But
from
2, maybe. They have Wyatt Hennigan and Mark Danza. For Ellenville, they have, I think, 4. Jack Ryan, Alex Weck, Jeremiah Irwin, and Brian Lazo. So there's a few subs for Ellenville. And there's not a huge crowd tonight. Not a crowd as big as the Coaches versus Kent's game last Friday, which obviously was senior recognition night as well.
that was a big crowd.
Yeah. Tonight there's just the hardcore Blue Devil soccer fans out and about, which is usually either families and friends or members of the JV or the girls team.
Well, the girls varsity team was actually
Having a game?
yeah, they had a game.
Yeah,
against
that away game,
Mountain
right?
Economy, yeah.
So they're not here. Maybe after the game they'll stop by, but
I believe their game just ended.
okay.
Yeah.
You have a score update? Can you text someone? How'd you know the game's over?
Somebody text me when it's over.
So can you text them what the score was?
I can find out. Yeah.
So if you had the knowledge to find out the game's over, you probably have the knowledge to find out if they won or if they lost or if it was a tie.
They lost.
Yeah, I know they've made sections anyway, so the loss will
Yeah.
not affect. It might affect their seeding, but it won't affect their getting the section.
I believe if they won, they said if they won, they would play Rhinebeck again.
That's
but
right.
it'd be at Walk Hill to make it even.
Oh, and there's a header into the box. Oh, and just wide. Should have been the opening goal. Yeah, you're right. I saw Mr. Dom a couple of days ago, and he was telling me that if they had won tonight,
They would add another chance at getting a
right,
division banner.
their record would have been tied with Rhinebeck.
Yep.
In
And
which
they
case, I wasn't sure how that would play out, and he said, well,
Yeah.
there would be a playoff in terms of a head-to-head, a one-off game between those two to see the winner.
Yeah, a couple players told me, "Ooh, that looked like
Nice,
that could have been."
yeah, nice chip from the edge of the box. But no, in the end, well, they lost tonight, so the playoff is not relevant. So they're not going to win
They're not going to win their division, but
division. But they're
the
still
only
in
thing better than a
sections.
division banner is a section
The
banner.
section banner.
And they still have a chance at that.
Yeah, and they're in that. I don't know if I don't think the girls program has ever won a sectional title. I don't know if the boys program, for that matter, has ever won a sectional title in soccer. It's not easy to win sections.
It's not. I believe last time we won was like 1993 with Coach Logan
For what?
for football.
For football?
Yeah.
Well, we just. Oh yeah, you're right. No, football. We've won in my time. Mr. Borriello won it about 10 years ago. So 2008 or 2009. It was within one of my first couple of years here. I started here in 2008, and Mr. Borriello, who had two of his sons played, it was when AJ played. They won the sections. They won it at Deet Stadium. I remember that game. I was there.
He used to be my coach for Modified.
Okay, yeah. So the football program has won a sectional title in the last, let's say, 10 years.
Last decade.
Basketball obviously won it last
Last
year.
year,
That's
yep.
the most recent success, and I don't know if baseball's ever got there, or softball, or field hockey. Any of those.
Our
It's
softball
hard.
team has done it before.
Yeah.
'Cause I remember last year we had a Hall of Fame game for football, and one of our softball teams
You're
got
right.
recognized.
And yes, you're absolutely right. The girls' soccer team was here because they were, whatever year it was,
Yeah.
early '90s. I want to say, yeah, sectional champs.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not easy for, especially in the team sports. It's not easy for Ellenville to win sections. There's a strike from distance. Keeper does well, right down the barrel at him. I know we've had some sectional success when it comes to, say, individual athletes and like track events, that kind of a thing.
Jason Lawson, I believe, won sections
Yeah,
for
wrestling. Yeah, he tied
last
that.
year.
Justin Fahrenkopf was a pole vault champ. So individual titles, again, they're not easy, but they do happen. And team titles are even harder to get, but they do happen. So good luck to you and the football team on your sectional quest. And again, good luck to both the boys and girls soccer teams as Saugerties attacking down the right flank there. They haven't made Sven Vustovic work hard yet in goal. That one just went just wide. But they are pressing. They say they're giving a good game. Before the game today, I spoke to both coaches, and you could tell the coach from Saugerties was just realistic about his team's chances. He wasn't overconfident. He was saying, "Well, our record's 1-12. It's a difficult season for us this year, having had years before of good success." But he said, "Hey, we're here to play, do what we do."
Being an underdog could be a good thing sometimes.
Yeah, especially if it means the team that's favorite takes it easy and thinks, "Oh yeah, we got this. They're not very good this year. We can
It's
just
happened a lot to us
yeah,
this
we
year.
can relax and we'll beat them easily." And then that team that's acting like that underperforms, and then the other team, if they get up for this, say, "No, we can do this. Let's play our best, play strong," and that's how upsets happen. Yeah, that's the best thing about sports is that.
I don't think we were favored to win a single game this year.
No.
No, I remember even at our Roscoe game, we figured we have a better record, we've proven more, and we figured there's no way we can't be favored, and we weren't favored. But that's when we're at our best, so being an underdog's good sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, this season for the football team, it was tough. A tough start. You lost your first two,
Yeah.
if not three.
No, our
You won
first
the
two.
third. You lost the first two,
We lost the first two and then won 4 straight.
and then it can be tough on the outside when you see 2 losses on the bounce. On the outside, you think, "Wow, this team's not very good." But then you go put 4 wins in a row, and it was like, "Oh, all right, you can play, you can compete." Well, I remember. I think that a similar thing happened last year or the season before with
The season before, where
with Coach Cav, where I know
lost 2 straight and then went on
a good run.
and won that division too.
The football team,
Yeah, we won.
division champs. And of course, you can. I'm sure it'd be interesting stat to see how often teams win sections, but they don't win their division. Because obviously, the team that wins the division quite often is going to be a contender at sections, but you don't have to win your division to get into sections. So I wonder how often does that happen? How often does a non-division winner go on to win a section title? Probably not often, but I'd be curious to see the stats there.
I know last year Tri Valley won the whole thing. And I'm
8-man
pretty sure
football?
Yeah,
or?
of 8-man football. Tri Valley won all of the section, and then they went to, I believe, the state finals.
Mm. Right. I mean, it's a small program, right? It's
Yeah.
as an 8-man football, it's still growing. It's a smaller sport, so there aren't that many schools. Well, there weren't that many schools. Obviously, I think more and more are added each year. But in some ways that's a good thing for the teams in it right now, because you have a really good shot at going deep into the competition. Whereas if you play basketball, you're up against pretty much every school,
Yeah.
of a similar size. You got to take them all down, which is why it's really hard to win. And you play so many games in a basketball season. In soccer as well, they play a lot of games. So Ellenville's record coming into tonight is 9-3-1. That means they've played how many games, Nick?
10, nope, not 10, 13.
Yep. So this is their 14th game. There'll be 15 as of Saturday's game, and then I think they break for a week until they see their sectional games. So that's 15 regular season games for the soccer team, and then hopefully I think there'll be 3 sectional games if they can pull it off. So we're at 24 minutes ticking down in the first half here. No goals yet to speak of. Score is still tied at 0-0.
Update on that girls' game. They lost 3-0.
Oh, so that's not a whitewash, but a pretty significant loss.
Disappointing.
Yeah. Who was that against?
Mount Academy.
Mount Academy. Now edge of the box. Oh, the through ball is too heavy. On a nice flick around the keeper. Oh, he just got there first. And that's 10. Gavin Baxter tried to just nudge it around the keeper. Got there before the keeper, but just put too much on it. I'm sure Coach Mead will be encouraged by what he's seeing, but at the same time, he'll be a little bit disappointed that they haven't stuck one in the goal yet. So he's getting ready with a couple of subs. You mentioned we think Ellenville has about 4 subs to call from. Saugerties have 2, and we haven't seen any just yet, but it looks like 2 are getting ready for Ellenville. Here they come. Looks like we have, I think, is that Jeremiah coming in for number 4, Chris Leone. Yep. And then the other sub, there's just 1 so far. Just 1 sub? No, I guess just 1 sub for the moment. I didn't see a second player come in, did you?
Nope. 11.
Oh, did 20 come in? Jack Ryan's
20.
in, I'm
Jack
sorry.
Ryan. Yep.
So Jack Ryan's in. So the other 2 subs, Brian Lazo, I'm not even sure if he's played a game yet for varsity. Tonight might be his varsity debut. He's a foreign exchange student, apparently. But I want to give a big shout out to the people upstairs on the camera. It looks pretty good. Whoever's running the wide shot. It's either Chris or Jules or Heather or.
I believe Sherry's on the wide
I believe
shot.
it is Chris. Nice job, Christian. It looks pretty good from up here. In that case, let's get a shot on the close-up if they can of the scoreboard. There comes the throw into the box. It's going to bounce once. Don't lose the game, though. You got to make sure you see the action. Shot from outside the box. But they can hear me upstairs. That's a good thing. I just confused them. Now I asked for something. As now Saugerties on the attack. Decent, too heavy a through ball. Ellenville's keeper Spendustovic makes the save. So let's see if the left camera can get a shot of the scoreboard while the right camera brings you the game. I know the right camera can't see the scoreboard, so if the right camera follows the action for a minute, the left camera can get a shot of the scoreboard. Let's see if we can show our viewers on YouTube and Channel 20 what the scoreboard says. It should say 0-0 with just under 22 minutes to go, but a visual's always nice to accompany the dialogue. Should we start a timer, Nick? See how long it takes them.
Might take them all the way till half.
I mean, I can come up there and give you guys a hand if you need.
I think that might be needed.
Ball's out for a throw on the far side. Can you pass my water bottle there, Nick?
Yep.
Oh, we can see the screen a little bit better. Thank you. Deep throw into the box. Headed once. Goes as far as Nerman. Headed out again to Nerman. Cleared. And now Corset. Back to Hem Street. So I know the varsity team has been suffering a lot of injuries and loss of players for other reasons. So it's been a difficult season, as in going into the season they would have had potentially 4 starters at the very start of the season, or just before the season began, there were 4 names who would have been on the team sheet as starters who are all now unavailable to play. So it's a bit of a tougher year for the program, but like I said, they've made sections. They're having a good season overall.
The injury bug.
Yeah.
No, it's part of sports. Nothing you can do about it.
No, Nerman, I think they're. Oh, no, he's not. I thought they were going to say foul by Nerman, but no, it was, I think, a foul or an offside on the Saugerties forward. Going to go check on our crew upstairs. You got the mic, Nick. Keep the action colorful, but not too colorful.
Ooh. Nice cross there. So I believe that's Gavin Beck. Nope, Nerman Urbrick took a shot at the goal. Deep kick. Slow down. I believe that's Dylan Corset. Pass it up. Ooh, nice cross. Bounce is going to be Noah Hemstreet with the throw-in. Nope, Nerman Urbrick. Nerman with the throw-in. Oh, nope, subs. I believe Chris Leone is back in. I believe that's number 8, Adrian Barros. Ooh. Far sideline. I believe that's. Nope. Throw in. Good kick to clear. Ooh. I believe that was Alex Pauly, or was that Jeremiah Irwin? Noah fighting for the ball. Ooh. Would have been a nice pass, but out of bounds. It's going to be a Saugerties throw-in. All right. Up to Alex Pauly. Saugerties.
What's your
Lost
foot?
the
What's your
ball.
foot there, Nick?
Clear.
There we go. All right, yeah, the camera's doing a fine job upstairs. Doing a fine job upstairs. This is Mr. B back on the mic alongside Nick. We got about 17 minutes to go in the first half of Ellenville.
Still no score.
Ellenville varsity soccer versus Saugerties. Here comes Leon, looking to attack down the right wing with
Jeremiah, and I believe that is Alex Pauly.
yeah.
Yep.
Nice
Nice
footwork from him.
cross.
He's going to tee it in, but too heavy. Ellenville just not putting their passes together quite the way they want to in the final third. So yeah, no score yet. They've had the better chances. Saugerties have been playing decent enough to certainly keep Ellenville from scoring, and they've gotten into Ellenville's box a couple of times, but Ellenville certainly commanding the possession in this game. They just got to make it work. Nice tackle by Hemstreet. Tries to nutmeg him, still gets through to Jeremiah. He finds
Nice pass to Pauly.
Pauly.
Mm.
Couple touches into the box, goes for the strike, I think. It's blocked.
Number 14.
So when's your next game, Nick?
Friday.
A week
Next Friday.
Next Friday, right?
Yep.
No game this weekend.
October 25th.
So you got like a week off. It's like a bye week for you,
Yep.
for the team, right? What are you guys doing a bye weekend? Extra practice?
We did a lot of
Scrimmaging?
scrimmaging this
Yeah.
week, yeah. Not full pads today, just helmets.
Not full pads, just helmets.
Got into a heated 2-minute touch game.
Nice slip ball through to Barrows,
Ooh.
number 8.
Ooh.
Got a deflection, almost bounced up and over the keeper's head.
Another save.
Yeah, good save by the keeper. He's been busy. Dan, I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Dan McClusack?
Yep. It looks like McClassic.
Or McKissick? McKissick, maybe. But he's been busy. He's had a few saves to make, and so far he's saved every one of them. He hasn't had any a really hard save to make yet, I would say. So far everything's come either right towards him or it's bounced up and kind of fell into his arms. But you still got to make those saves. So I'm sure he's up to a good 3 or 4 saves so far. Spen Vustovic in the Ellenville goal probably is at 0 saves. I don't think.
I believe he's at 1 or 2.
Has he at 1 or 2? And Saugerties had a shot on target. Well, you're right. Well, he came out to pick one up. But I don't know if that counts as a save.
I believe they had a shot on goal earlier.
Oh, okay. No, now the 3 steals it. Good tackle back from Paulie.
Kick out of bounds by Noah.
How's the picture look over there? Looks pretty good, pretty solid. We're live on YouTube tonight, and repeat airing on demand on YouTube, and repeat airings on Channel 20, the district cable channel. We thank you for tuning into this game. Try to bring you every game, certainly from the football field that we can.
It's the good thing about having lights.
Yeah. Substitution on the far side. It's like Jack coming back in. The 20. Paulie coming out. Jack Ryan, the 20 is in. Alex Paulie, 23, coming out.
Good pass from Noah Hemstreet.
Yeah, now they got almost even set of numbers. It was 4 on 5, but stopped by the first player. The 17 did well to step forward. That was Shan Sakan. Barrows lays it inside to, his own player fell over. Oh, it's disappointing. It wasn't really Jack's fault. Barrows fell over in front of him, I think. Or was it the 16, actually? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Brian Lazo.
Uh-huh.
Up to Guba.
Jeremiah, who's got good energy, turns to Barrows, steps it over. And he kept in nicely by Saugerties. He hikes a through ball down. Fernando's got to deal with this. And he does, and Elmo can even keep that in. They do with Hemstreet. Inside to Jack, and he can turn and look up and find Baxter. Not quite. Barrows will get the clearance. The striker wanted the through ball in front of him. Instead, it was played behind him.
Close game.
Yeah. 12 minutes left in the half. And yeah, no score. Ellenville does have one tie from a game over at Leipold Field a couple weeks ago that it got too dark to finish the overtime. That shouldn't be an issue tonight unless, of course, power went out, in which case the game would be over.
That ball went over the fence.
Up into the bleacher, right?
Never seen that before.
You've never seen me kick a soccer ball then, there. Were you there a couple years ago? I don't think I was around last year, or they didn't do it last year. The field goal challenge was last year's, 2 years ago.
I believe
Pep
it was
rally.
2 years ago.
Did you
Pep
remember?
rally.
Do you remember that? Were you here for that? Did you see me and Mr. Orlando going into that left goal there? It's like my first time ever. Well, that might be my second year ever doing it. The year before that would have been your freshman year, I guess. That was my first year ever kicking an American football.
I believe it was my 10th grade year it happened.
Well, 2 years ago then.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was my second time doing it, I thought. I've only ever done it once or twice here in the football field, and it's awesome. I like to play soccer, so I'd never kicked a football like that, like on a proper football field at a football goal before. So that was exciting for me.
It's a lot harder than it looks.
It is, because I mean, if you have a really good soccer kicking background, then the swing of the leg is easy. It's just where to hit the ball. Because if you chop it too low, you just backspin it too much. And if you chop it too high, then you're just going to get not enough height on it. So yeah, it is. That's the skill in it, is where to hit it exactly on the ball to get it to where you want to go. But it's fun. I like it. I could have been a kicker for a football team.
We were trying to get a soccer player to come put the pads on, be a kicker.
I guess it's one of those things where if we had either a bigger school with enough players where they could essentially you'd have someone who's a decent kicker who could play soccer but that can get in the team, so then he would just come to the football team and be like, oh, I'll just kick it for you then. Or if you had a school that's so small they didn't have a soccer program, then any of their players who just play travel soccer or occasional soccer would say, yeah, I'll do it for you. But we're just in that sweet spot where we have a strong soccer program and a strong football program, so you can't really play for both sports. The only exception to that really is you get track athletes like Marlon, for example, on your team, right, who is a track athlete, but he also is a football athlete. And if ever there's a conflict there, he has to choose, I guess.
Not really a conflict because indoor-outdoor track is spring and winter.
There's no fall?
There's
it's
a
cross-country,
cross-country,
right? Does he do that or no?
No, Marlon's not really a cross-country guy.
He's a sprinter.
Yeah. Marlon's not really a distance runner.
He got
Although he did take 96 yards.
I was going to say, he got like a 99-yard touchdown or whatever it was.
96 yards.
Baxter on the left wing now into the box, can blast it from a distance. Bounces right before the keeper.
Good scoop.
Yeah. That was a cross shot from Baxter. Trying to challenge the keeper and also maybe put it on a plate for one of his teammates to get on the end on. So inside 10 minutes until halftime. Score still goalless here at Ellenville High School football field. Saugerties in the all white, going from right to left, trying to break. And Ellenville on the bright pink with blue shorts, pink socks. Triple sub coming in. I think it's Nerman.
That is.
Alex Pauly and Dylan Crissette coming back in.
Yep, that sounds about right. Chris Leon out, Brandon Guba out.
And I think
is that 20 Jack Ryan?
Did he come back out?
Yeah, I believe so.
I think you're right. Oh, the striker just trying to get on the end of it. Brian Lazo. Ooh. Oh, a missed touch there, which nice touch and spin from Jeremiah. Wants the return. He's going to get it. Into the box, cut back. Can he find a teammate? Oh, so close. Good recovery from the 12.
Doing a good job of rallying to the ball.
Yeah, Juan Erazo there. Good covering. That was a good build-up play from them. They got numbers in the box, and they just looked for that final cross from Jeremiah.
I wonder, is the scoreboard going to do that thing where after 2 minutes it's just kept by officials?
If we stop it. Who do you think's running the scoreboard right now?
Because I know last time it was.
Right, Mr. Moore did say that. I can stop it at 2 minutes if you'd like me to, Nick, so that we don't confuse anyone out there. In case the clock stops and everyone just stops playing, but the referee's like, I didn't stop the whistle. Why'd you stop?
Yep. I think it's better off we let the ref.
Right, I don't want to get in trouble with like Coach Mead or anyone like that, or the Saugerties coach. So yeah, we'll stop. Good shout, Nick. We'll stop it at 2 minutes. So it's 7 and 45, 7 minutes and 40 seconds to go now until the half. Saugerties keeps it in, but Hemstree collects, and now we can work it with Pauly. Decent ball, blocked at the first attempt. And now the 17 can turn. He's got Hemstree bearing down on him.
Hemstree with good closing speed right there.
Yeah, and then they said it went out. I thought he did a nice job of keeping that in, Juan Erazo, but ref said, nah, throw in. So Nerman Ibrich to throw into Jeremiah. Tries the back or neck control, and now he's looking for the runner. He looks forward to the 16. He can make it take a touch. Finds Barros. He touches it one more time, and it's just too heavy.
Gonna get to it.
And that's just been the
story of the half.
The story of the half. Yeah, Ellenville breaking, getting up there, and then just not quite getting synced together in that critical moment right in front of the keeper, right at the edge of the area. But they're getting themselves into decent positions. Before that, they just got to be more clinical. Now, do you play any other sports, Nick, besides the football?
I do baseball in the spring.
Baseball in the spring. You take the winter off?
Yeah.
You're more of a supporter in the winter? You go to the basketball games?
Yeah, I went to a lot of basketball games last year. I got lucky to get a front row seat at our home game in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah?
That was absolutely packed.
When it was packed?
I had people in the cafeteria watching it, auditorium.
I did the pregame announcement for that.
I got lucky. Showed up there a little late, but snuck around a few people. Snuck around a few people, then they had us waiting outside. And
Yeah.
got a front row seat.
Yeah. I don't think I'll probably never forget that game. That was very impressive. A very special moment for our community because we had just won the Mahal title,
Yep.
and then that was our
That was
home
the first game of sections. Yep.
Yeah. So we were already, our fans were there to already celebrate winning a title, and then to basically cheer them on and be like, let's go.
Let's get the section.
Let's get the section. Home game and everything. Oh, now he's through. Great chance. Best of the half. Strike from distance. And a second save. Amazing save.
Did catch him in the face with a kick.
Might have caught him, Adrian Barros. It was accidental. He was going for the strike.
Yeah, he was going for the ball, but
that was great attacking play from Ellenville right leading up to that. Jeremiah Irwin, the 24, had a strike from outside the box. A powerful strike keeper. Couldn't save it at first. It bounced down. Adrian Barros was there to smash the rebound home. And you're right. The keeper, brave, grabbed the ball. And then Barros' follow-through just, I think, connected with him. He stood up pretty quick, so I don't think there's any heavy damage. But the referee and his teammates were pretty quick to kind of say, yo, are you okay? Did you get it in the face? He's all right. He's not down. He's up, and he hasn't even let go of the ball yet. So I think he's all right. Just took a moment to make sure, like, yo, is my lip still there? Is my face okay?
Am I still singing?
That's Dan McKissack on the classic. Great save. Great double save from him. Ellenville's best chance, I would say, of the half with just under 5 minutes to go. And they still, there's a little kid in the field. What's going on?
Oh. Oh.
He's a ball boy? I'm not sure what he's doing. I don't know. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Oh, I don't think the camera's got that either.
No,
That would have been a good moment. Our wide shot missed it.
Missed it. All right, we're back underway. Great drop kick. Oh, handball.
Ooh.
Not going to give
No
it.
call?
Nah, it's accidental, I guess. It bounced down. It bounced up into his elbow, but that was a handball. So, yeah, just under 4 minutes now. Can Saugerties get a sucker punch from the edge of the box? Ooh. Nice roll there. Nice save for the cameras by Sven Vucetovic. Made that look pretty. And that would be something for Saugerties, who haven't had the best of the chances this half, to just go down and score a goal right before halftime. And the coach Mead would say,
That's the best shot they've had, too.
Yeah, that was a really good chance, actually. Coach Mead would be disappointed.
Ellenville's best shot followed up by Saugerties' best
and
shot.
now Baxter, nice flick and turn, and he sticks it home. Oh, no, I thought that was in.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. I'm sure
That
Baxter, did you see that turn?
Yeah.
Nice touch and turn around the player, and he was probably thinking, I've got this.
Got it past the
Easy from
goalie,
here,
but
and then
just missed it.
best chance of the game.
So far, yes. So thank you. You can put this back in my office.
Yep.
Do you have a key?
I can put it inside if you want. GM. I can get it in.
Oh, no.
We're going to stop the clock at 2 minutes, though, so that, no one gets confused. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Moore. Thank you very much.
See you guys. Take good care of this guy. Takes good care of you, right?
If anyone wants to get me a hot chocolate right now, it would be appreciated,
Word.
Baxter launches it to the left wing, looking for Barros. He takes a nice touch around the player, but the defender is fast enough to recover. It might be out for a corner kick. Just almost 2 minutes, 2 minutes and 10 seconds on the clock, so we will stop the clock at 2 minutes. And then we'll be inside the final 2 minutes of the first half. Still goalless here with about 2 minutes remaining. I guess now I can start my timer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Short corner. They better, I don't know if they're ready for that. Oh, they're going to try it. Cut inside. He's edge of the box now. Weak. Weak shot from the edge.
It's a lot closer of a game then.
Oh, yeah, man.
One might have anticipated,
Yeah, when
considering records.
You see a 1-12 going up against a 9-3.
9-3.
You think, all right, the 9-3 is surely going to win this one pretty comfortably, but nuh-uh. 0-0. Saugerties holding their heads up high. Ellenville, like I said, a couple of starters gone missing even since the last game. Kashara with a bad injury the previous game. So they're just, they're getting by Ellenville at the moment.
Saugerties. Good stop, I believe that was Fernando Silva, number 9.
I think Baxter tried the nutmeg just then. Into the final minute of the first half here. Ellenville looking for that breakthrough. That's Christian Steinauer, record goalkeeper for Ellenville. He holds holds the record for most clean sheets in a season. I think he's
Good goalie back in his day.
yeah, he was a graduate last year of the high school. So I think he's just might be back there on the far side to watch the game and help out Mr. Mead. Like I mentioned, he was a good goalie. He was part of a very good defensive unit last season that set a record, or I think it tied the record for clean sheets by an Ellenville varsity soccer keeper in a season, which I think might have been, I don't know, 12, maybe 15. Into the box. Oh, Nerman with a heavy touch out of the box. Going to fall to Hemstreet. He chips it back in. And that's halftime right there. 0-0, no score.
Wow.
So I think the Saugerties coach will be the happier of the two. Michael Riley will come in and say, good job so far, fellas. And Coach Mead, on the other hand, will be saying, guys, finish the chances. Let's get a goal here.
Got to figure it out.
Yeah, figure it out. All right, so we're on the scoreboard there. Very nice. Nick, the master control, which is the dial all the way to the right. You can mute that as soon as we sign off for the half. We will be right back for the second half in a few minutes. All right, we're back for the second half here at Elmville High School football field. I should probably get 40 minutes on the clock if I hit clock set 40 enter. And you grab that headphone right there, and you bring the mouthpiece down and point it right towards your mouth, just like that. I'll give you a chance to make it nice and comfortable. Go ahead. Yeah, you'll be live on YouTube the moment you put that on. You are live on YouTube right now. You want to move the mouthpiece up to cover your mouth. And there is kickoff of the second half. This is Mr. Buckler on the commentary. Alongside me, we have Mr. Christian. Good afternoon, Mr. Christian.
Good afternoon, Mr.
Good
Buckler.
evening now, right? It's getting
yeah,
late.
Pretty much evening.
You're here till 8 o'clock, so you're here for another, you're here for 53 minutes, and the game is 40 minutes left, so you should be here till the end of the game, Christian.
Yes, I should.
It should be fine. It should be fine. So welcome. This is your first time on the mic?
Yeah.
All right. So you're live on YouTube, and you're also going to be available on repeat broadcast on YouTube and on Channel 20, so remember to just think about what we say. Yes, Christian? But
Yes, sir.
it's okay to get excited and talk about the action. Do you watch any soccer, Christian?
Nah,
Not too much.
not good at it.
Do you know some of the players, at least, for Ellenville?
Oh, yeah, I know them all.
You know them all. All right. So what you can do is remind us who are the starters for Ellenville, the ones with the two letters by them. Who we got starting today for Ellenville?
We got Chris Leon, number 4.
Yeah.
We got Nerman, number 5. Noah Hemstreet, number 6. Adrian Barros, number 8. Fernando Silva, number 9. Gavin Baxter, who's a captain at number 10. Tyler Limadola, number 11. Dylan Corsett, number 12.
Yeah, on the ball now.
We got Brandon Goober at 19. That's his number. Jack Ryan at 20. Alex, how you say that?
Zweck.
Alex Weck at number 21. We got Spen, 22. Alex Polly at 23. Jeremiah at 24. And Brandon Lazo at looks like 16.
Yeah, Brandon Lazo, number 16. How many of those guys are your classmates,
My
Chris?
classmates.
What, are you a senior this year?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's only Dylan. If, and
There's Adrian, right?
yeah,
Barros?
Adrian Barros. Yeah.
Now, Christian, you're a member. It's like your commentator for the first half of this game was Nick Candelaria. You're also a member of the varsity football team, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
I'm the captain of the varsity football
You're a
team.
captain?
Yes, sir.
Nice job, nice job. Who else is captain? Was it just you?
I think it's number 1, Sean Petway. You know, he's the
Yeah, Sean.
he's the go of our team, and we got Ethan Alexander, who's the other one.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know Ethan very well. I know Sean pretty well. He's in the studio class along with yourself.
And he's our workhorse.
Or I should say he's in the 8th period TV and studio broadcasting class alongside Noah, Gisolfi, and a couple other members of the football team. You member
Yeah.
member of the football team? Member?
Yeah, Gabe is.
Gabe, right? Manny or no? No, just Gabe, and also Mark, right? Is a
Mark,
member.
it's
Mark.
The seniors are me, Noah, Sean, Nick, Mark, and Gabe. Yeah,
So you're almost all in the. Are you all in studio?
I think so. Yeah, actually.
You're the only one in the after-school one, but the rest are all in the in-school class,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Huh? Well, there's Nick too. No one forgets about you, Nick. Don't worry, Nick
For like the
Candelaria.
longest time, we only had I think my sophomore year, we only had 3.
Punch save.
Oh.
Go ahead, sorry to
We
interrupt.
only had 3 seniors. Actually, like three members of the class of 2020 coming out to play football my sophomore year
Mm-hmm.
when we won the division in 2017.
You in that team?
Yes, I was on
Yeah,
that
yeah.
team. I was a starter as a sophomore and
Nice.
linebacker.
Nice. And Nick was telling us before during the first half that this season's going pretty well. You have a bye week effectively this weekend, so no competitive match this weekend.
It's a shame.
But
I wish
then
I
you'll-
was playing.
Then you'll find out this weekend who you're going to face here at the football field next Friday. That'll get decided this weekend. Will that be decided upon the results of Friday's fixtures?
So Friday night, Sullivan must plays Fallsburg at Sullivan.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the loser of that game will be placed in the 7th seed,
Okay.
and it's possible we can play one of those teams, or we can, if Dover is to win against Onteora, or if they lose, Dover needs to win against Onteora, but if they lose by less than 8 points, we can also play Dover.
Okay. So the mathematics.
And a possibility could be Millbrook too if
Right.
Millbrook beats back.
Okay.
It's a lot of.
Who would you like to play?
I honestly,
Or does it not matter?
one particular team I like playing. I played quite a bit throughout my football
Mm-hmm. Career.
career here at Ellenville is Dover. I never played Dover home. I've always played Dover away.
So it'd be nice to have them
Yeah, I
come
want
here
to
for
play.
once, right?
I want to play Dover, but Millbrook. I want to play them as well. I wouldn't mind playing them and Fallsburg.
Mm-hmm.
Those 3 teams, I think I would. Yeah.
So Dylan Corset just gave it away, but they've got the ball back quickly, Ellenville. They had the bulk of the possession and the better chances in the first half, but no score.
A lot of good plays by goalies.
Yeah, we're at 0-0. And you're right, the keeper, Dan McClisack, had some very good saves to make. One, he actually put his face on the line against Adrian Barros.
Didn't he get kicked?
I think he caught, luckily he didn't go down.
Fernando?
He went down injured, but he was able to carry on. But he certainly did look like he maybe got caught in the face.
Oh, we changed goalies? That's still Spen.
Ellenville, I think
That's
that
still
is Spen in the goal. Ellenville has played a number of keepers this season. Spen himself suffered a pretty bad injury early in the season, so he had to have a number of understudies come in and cover it.
He had his concussion.
Yeah, so in the previous game Ellenville played, they actually used the JV keeper who's here tonight, Zweck, Alex Zweck, number 21. He played in goal at the previous game. Ellenville have used Nerman Ibrich in goal this season, and Jeremiah Irwin, who was playing out early. He's an outfield player as well tonight. His number is 24. He's also played in goal. So Ellenville have used 4 different goalies this season. Spen is their first choice, but like I said, he was injured for a while, so they had to come up with some replacements.
Yeah, I forget what team it was, but one of the guys, it was a cheap shot, got a whole concussion. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that was at Leipold, I think. I was there for that game. Yeah.
I was at Leipold.
Oh, that's right. That was when the. Yeah, I remember that game. Yeah.
Oh, we got a
22 though.
Oh.
Ooh. Good attack down the wing of number 22. That's Mitch Hart, sophomore, and that was a good chance. Great break for Saugerties down the right side.
It's kind of crazy seeing some sophomores on varsity teams, but then I gotta remember I was a sophomore on a varsity team.
Let's see if there's any freshmen there. Anthony Numson's a freshman out there, number 8 for Saugerties, alongside number 17, Shan Sekan. They're 2, and Ryan Cumberland, number 14. So that's 3 freshmen out there for Saugerties. Ellenville, I don't think they have any freshmen on the roster this season.
Yes, I thought Jeremiah was not a freshman.
Jeremiah Irwin, he's a sophomore.
Oh, I thought he was a freshman.
No, I mean they've years gone by they've absolutely had some freshmen on the team. I want to say
Kershaw was a freshman.
Kershaw
Wasn't Gavin as well?
Gavin probably played his freshman season.
And then there was Justin too. He played his freshman year.
Alex Pauly may have featured in his freshman year.
I think it was Pauly too.
Yeah, there's been a few, but
there's a lot of juniors.
Yeah.
A lot of juniors on this Ellenville.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I can see a lot of junior names. So there'll be a big loss when they graduate.
But the sophomore class has got some players too. You got Paulie, Lamondola, you got Jeremiah.
And then the JV program, I'm sure, has some pretty talented players. There's Tanverl. I have seen him play indoor soccer. He's very good indoor. So I know he's knocking on the door to get into the varsity team. He's only a freshman, I think.
I could have probably played varsity my freshman year, but I think I would have stayed with modified.
For football?
Yeah.
Now, Ellenville High School has a modified football program.
It's modified A. They went back to modified A.
What does that mean?
So modified A is 7th, 8th, and 9th.
7th, 8th, and 9th graders.
So,
but is that 8-man football? That's 11-man.
That's actually still 11-man.
That's still 11-man football. 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. Okay.
Coach Cav has actually said a couple of times that he doesn't know for a fact, but he thinks they're gonna go back to 11-man. 22 on the break here.
Oh, tease it up!
Ooh.
Mitch Hart
Spen had a shutout last game.
Yeah, he's had a few shots this season. But you say Coach Kavanaugh thinks maybe 11-man will come back?
Next year,
yeah.
Yes.
There'll be enough players to have a full squad. I know Nick was telling me in the first half it's all down to having that kind of a magic plus number of 24. If you can't consistently get 24, that's why we moved to 8, right?
No, so for 12-man, you need at least – for 12-man.
For 11-man.
For 11-man, you need at least 16 players on a roster.
Oh, okay.
But then a lot of your players, pretty much all of your players would have to play Iron Man.
Right.
I actually myself play Iron Man. I play defense, offense, and special teams.
Right.
I'm actually the kicker, offensive lineman, and defensive end for the football team.
Right. So if you want to obviously spread that load out a bit, you need a roster of 20 plus.
Oh yeah, guys definitely need breaks. It gets tired after a while, but I can't only imagine with soccer. All you do is run.
All you do is run for a good 80 minutes. There's a bit of standing around, but otherwise you're expected to run all the time.
Field also wider, too.
Yeah. That's probably why I love to play soccer, because it's really good exercise. Breakthrough now for Saugerties. Oh, good screening from Fernando. He just got him in the way of the defender, but if that had been too obvious, he actually could have conceded a penalty kick, but it was fair to kind of stand in his way and shield the ball, if you will. Elmo just not quite putting it together up front. We had 10
yeah.
minutes.
I
10
don't
minutes.
know.
10
It's been
minutes.
I remember the game against Dover. They had plenty of shots at the goal.
All right, well, you were here for the Coaches versus Cancer game
Yes.
that last Friday, and they scored a few goals, I want to say.
Ooh.
Wasn't it 6-0?
I think it was 4 actually.
4, you're right.
was
It
4.
was 4.
I'm pretty sure Gavin Baxter had 2 goals.
And I think, to be fair, 2 of those did come out in the last 5 minutes, so it was like 2-0 for most of the game, and then at the end there was a couple of goals.
Who else? Who scored the other goal? It was
Scored and Barrow scored.
Oh, it was Adrian Barrows.
Adrian Barrows here for Till.
That was also senior recognition night.
Yeah. Ball into the box now, cleared.
Ooh.
Nerman can reset it. Plays it across to Chris Leone. Oh, nice.
Ooh,
Fake the
nice
left,
move.
cuts to the right. Oh, and Dylan
Come
miscontrols. But
That's that's dangerous right there. It's like one mistake, mess up the whole entire game.
Fernando, nice nutmeg to slide it through to Barros. He's got Paulie on his left with Leon outside him. He almost found Baxter. Hit the back of Barros. It's just not coming off for Ellenville tonight. Not yet, anyway. 28 minutes to go in this second half. Still 0-0. Saugerties looking to get on the scoreboard. They've been knocking on the door this half now with a couple of chances on the right wing. Now they're going down the left.
Oh.
Ball is blocked, and here's Hemstreet going to try to tee it up for
Oh.
Paulie.
Paulie's out in the break. Nope. Was not having that.
You can clear that over the fence.
You play soccer yourself when you were in high school?
I did. I never really got to play for my school because I wasn't good enough. Because
Oh, really?
I went to a school of, I don't know, my graduating class was probably 30, 60 times 4, was that 240? Like 200 kids in the graduating in my year. So
That's almost as much as we have in ours. That's not our grade. How much is our grade?
like 100, aren't you?
How much people do we have in our grade?
120 maybe. But no, I wasn't. In England, everyone plays
so you are
soccer.
from England. I've always been wondering where you're from.
Yeah, everyone plays soccer in England, so I like to play soccer, but I never played. I never played travel or anything like that. And so in England, most of the people that ends up playing for the school team are the people that play travel soccer, because there's at least like probably 30 kids that play travel soccer. So if you don't play travel soccer, it's very hard to get in the team. You got to be like a really special talent who just for some reason doesn't play travel. So I did not play for the school.
Soccer's the #1 sport in the whole entire world.
It's definitely in England.
It's played everywhere.
Yeah, and because the good thing for it in England is you can play it year round. The weather's not so bad that you can't play. Over here you can't. In New York you can't play it in February. It's too
England are you
snow on the
from?
ground. London, West London.
Well, I've always like when I was older, I've always thought as a kid like when I get older I'm gonna move there. I've always been fascinated.
Yeah,
with
you should check it out. I was
the,
just there last week.
city.
Ball in the box. Referee is saying. What's he saying? Retake? They're going to retake it. I didn't see a foul by either side, unless the referee basically wanted to just talk to the players, but the ball was kicked in, so he's saying, hang on, I was just talking to these guys who are maybe getting a bit rough. I love soccer. I was just in England last week. I still play soccer today, Chris. I play every Tuesday.
Oh.
I play with the alumni of Ellenville High School, as it happens. They let me play with them.
You show 'em what's up.
I try. Doesn't always work out that way. I got a few nutmegs in this week. I got 1 goal. I like 2 or 3. You know what a nutmeg is?
Yeah.
When you put it through someone's legs.
Yeah.
I like to do that. I'm not always best at goal scoring, but I can nutmeg a few players, so that's like good enough for me. If I can get a couple of nutmegs and a goal, I'm happy. But no, I love to play soccer. It's a really good workout.
Nutmeg is like a big like.
Well, it's
I
like
guess it's like a juke move in football.
or an ankle breaker in basketball. Yeah, exactly. It's like it doesn't count for any points, but if you can pull it off
One of the
nicely.
I feel like one of the hardest things is to actually like I guess like make someone fall in soccer. I've never really seen it with my own eyes.
I've seen it. I don't think I've ever done it, but I've seen it where someone
Never
can just like you said, drop a shoulder, go one way, and then you see a player just like turn over and just fall over. Strike from distance, might fall. Back pass, no. Not quite.
High kick. Oh
Oof,
my
off
God.
his back. Now, what was? Did you say a juke or a jink in football? What would be the equivalent of an ankle breaker or a nutmeg? Like a
Yeah,
move
pretty
which
much.
is a what's it called?
Like a juke
A
move.
juke move, which is when you fake to go one way but then go the other.
Yeah, it's something
Like you
like
might pop
that.
and then spin someone and they just
Yeah.
completely get wrong-footed.
There's actually a bunch of. There's a lot more things. Like there's a stiff arm, a truck, a big hit.
Well, that's when people are getting hit though.
Yeah.
That's not always. I mean, it is a skill to do that, but it's not necessarily. It's more just like, ooh, that guy got hit. But like ankle breakers are nice or nutmegs if they come off nice, 'cause it means it's a really nice piece of skill. Nice touch into the box now. Saugerties can finish this. Good save by
Spen
Spen.
with a save. That didn't go out.
No, the ball's still in, and strikers down. Spen Vucetovic called into action. He was brave there. Had to come out and smother that ball, or else it was a good strike on the goal for the number 15. He's not been up in the box much. It's Carter Vale, senior. But a great effort by him. Put it on target, made Spen make the save. And he's going back up there. He's being played up front. So probably the best chance of the game for Saugerties just happened. 24 minutes left in this game, still 0-0.
They've had a couple close calls there.
Yeah, they're coming at Ellenville in this half. We mentioned in the first half the records are quite different. Ellenville has a very good team this year, or a good record, I should say. 9-3-1. Saugerties are only 1-12. They've only won one game before today. 12 losses, and yet right now they are holding Ellenville to a tie at 0-0. I believe it will go to overtime if it's tied at 0-0, up to 2 20-minute periods, and then I don't think it will go to a PK shootout because we're not in sections yet. So it could be a tie if there's no goals in overtime, but. It's getting cold up here, right, Chris? We want to see a goal.
Oh yeah.
We want to see an Ellenville goal. If you're a Blue Devil fan, what's the Saugerties mascot? You know,
I know the Sawyers, but I don't know what.
the Sawyers. If you're a Sawyers fan, obviously you want a Saugerties goal. They might be watching us here on. They might be watching on YouTube. We thank anyone for tuning in on YouTube, whether it's live or on demand. Just to remind you, this is Mr. B alongside Christian, senior of Ellenville High School. Upstairs on the in the camera booth, give a big shout out to our crew for the second half. It is, I believe, Jules, Heather, and
Tanzamo?
Tans.
Nick was commentating before
Yeah,
as well.
Nick's around helping out. I think Nick went to go get us a hot drink, right? He should be back in a few minutes, right?
I think he's going on a Dunkin' run.
Yeah, I'll give you the money, Nick. I don't expect you to buy me a drink. I expect you, I just want you to go get it. I'll pay you back. I'll spot you $5. Baxter down the far side, cuts it into his left foot, crosses it up. It's going to fall to the back post to number 11. Strike off the post, and it's in.
That's good. That's a goal.
Nice goal. Tyler Lamondola, number 11, celebrates with his
Tyler
teammate.
Lamondola.
A nice left-footed strike, hit the post, but just went inside of it enough to hit the post.
I'm pretty sure that might be Tyler's first goal. I'm not sure.
Nice job, cameras on the close-up for Tyler. Excellent work. That might be. Yeah, he celebrated pretty hard.
He's a defender. I know that. He's always in the back.
Yeah, number 11, Tyler Lamondola. That's a storied name in the Ellenville soccer ranks. Lamondola. There's been many Lamondolas that have played for the varsity team in the last 10 years. There's been Andrew. There's been at least 2 others. Names escape me. So the latest in the long line of Lamondolas.
This is the youngest, right?
As far as I know, yeah, I don't know if there's any other Lamondolas to come after
He's a
Tyler.
sophomore. He's like 6'2", 6'1". He's tall.
Yeah, tall. And
Tall leg, though.
got a good left foot on him. He just put the ball past. Oh, we can update the score now, right?
Oh, Gavin falls down, slipping.
So 1-0 to Ellenville with 21 minutes to go here in the second half. Oh,
Seems like a lot of players are slipping, losing their footing.
So I was chatting to Nick about that in the first half. We had a lot of rain overnight in Ellenville.
Oh, it was.
Bucketing.
Yeah.
And
we had to practice in it. While it was
in the
downpouring,
rain.
while it was downpouring
Yesterday or
between,
today?
2:30. Oh, we played in the rain today as well, but it wasn't definitely as bad as yesterday.
Right, yesterday afternoon into the evening, it was heavy rain here in
Yeah,
Ellenville.
we practiced in it. We was practicing. I think we ended at like 4:30. We were wet. It was wet. It was bad.
They cancel. I believe soccer did not have practice because of the rain.
Oh, probably not.
Just to let you know how that goes. It's drop, but I'm sure Coach Kavanaugh wants you to practice because you don't have a game this weekend, so he wants you to kind of get that extra effort.
Also, don't know. You never know the conditions of like any game that you're playing.
Right. You don't want to have all your practices in nice weather, and then you come up against a bad weather day for a game. You're like, we've never practiced in this kind of
I'm
weather.
not used to it, so it's
Right.
a lot better.
Right. So, yeah, we had a lot of really heavy rain the last, so let's say 24 hours. It stopped a few hours ago, but the field probably soaked a lot of it up. The previous few games we've done, you can see it's very dry out there to look at. It looks pretty like brown. It's not a very green field because we haven't had much rain the last.
Oh no, it really
Month.
hasn't.
So the field itself is dry in general, but it might be a little bit slippy from all the weather we had the last 24 hours. But yeah, usually the game like Friday's game, and you can see whenever they kick the ball, the dust kind of kicks up. But today we're not seeing that because obviously it's a little bit more muddy than it is dusty. But yeah, you're right. Maybe a couple of studs are getting caught in the soft mud on the surface. We're looking for a second. Baxter has it edge of the box. Here's goal scorer Lamandola. Goal scorer Lamandola. There we go, Mr. B.
The one thing that I think is like really unique about the Louisville soccer team is like they're all young, so they're all still gonna have time. Like when the juniors hit their senior year, and when those sophomores become juniors, I really think they're gonna like do something because they've all played together.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all still like very young. Like there's only 3 seniors on the team.
Right.
Usually out of my grade, I guess that I really thought we had way more soccer players than that. But yeah, this Alamo soccer team is like overtaken by juniors and sophomores.
Number 19, good control. Then that's Guba finds Paulie 23.
Sorry, tripped up. So if the ball is like crosses the line, it's out. But if it touches it, it's still in.
Correct. The whole ball has to cross the line. If the ball goes like onto the line, it's not out.
Oh,
And
that's a push.
He gets back on his feet. Guba just got knocked over, but ref deemed it fair. Shoulder
High kick to the box.
good clearance. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. The ball can, in fact, partially cross the line. If the entire ball crosses the line, then it's out, which is the same for the goal. The entire ball has to cross the line for it to be a true goal. If the ball just half crosses the goal line but then comes back, not a goal.
So does it not matter where the player's standing?
Nope. And so a player can actually say that
So a player can kick the ball
and run off the field and then come back on, and that's not against the rules.
Yeah, and I think in football you can't if you run out to the sideline and come back in.
That would be a foul,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, you'd be.
It's a
yeah.
penalty.
Penalty, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, good kick.
In soccer, I mean, in high school, if you abused it, they probably wouldn't say. They might call it back, but it's not a rule. I mean, I'm allowed to kind of knock it around you and step out of bounds and come back in. As long as the ball stays in, that's perfectly fine in soccer.
Yeah, one thing in soccer.
Cut inside.
That's out. One thing about soccer I've seen tonight is a lot just when they kick the ball and they get hit in the head so hard. I'd be like, I don't understand.
In the head
Like in
with the
head.
ball.
Yeah,
Yeah. See,
I'd be scared.
I'm not a fan of hitting the ball, and I play soccer.
When you see them out there just boom, bang,
Yeah.
hit them in the head.
Especially
and
if it's slightly wet too. You think that ball, like with the football,
Oh,
it
when it's
gets
cold,
heavier
too.
when it's cold and when it's a little
Oh.
bit wet. The ball gets heavier and colder, and when that slams you in the head, that can hurt. So Ellenville has a man coming off there. Looks like number 6 or number 4. One's helping the other. The 6 comes off maybe with an injury. That's Noah Hemstreet.
I'm glad your advice like that. I've never seen that.
I got glasses like that. So Hemstreet's out, assisted off the
Out.
field by Leon.
16 minutes left in the half.
Yeah, it looks like Jeremiah might have come on to replace him. So Ellenville trying to protect their 1-goal lead, trying to add to it.
Isn't this Jeremiah's first year actually in Ellenville School?
Maybe. Don't
I
know.
think he went to the Christian Academy.
Yeah, does he not still go there?
Well,
No, because they don't have a team because the school closed. Correct.
yeah, I
That's
think.
right.
Well, all the Christian Academy, I'm pretty sure they get to choose what school they want to go to between
Right.
Ellenville and Rondo.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, I think you're
Not
right.
100%.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I
I'm
think
surprised the Christian Academy actually closed.
yeah, it's been around for a while, but I don't think it's active this year. So yeah, I think you're right. Jeremiah may have been a former Christian Academy student who now is an Ellenville student. There's a student I was chatting to coach before. I believe his name's Michael Whitehead. Would have been a senior this year. He's been a part of the varsity Ellenville team for the last
Oh,
3
I
or
remember
2
you talking
seasons.
about
He's a good
that.
player, but I believe he was a Christian Academy student who now goes to Rondell.
Yeah, it's a wall about where you live.
Yeah.
And what?
So he was a good player for Ellenville, Michael Whitehead, one of the better strong fullbacks. It was him and Sammy Davis and Michael Whitehead were like really consistent fullbacks for the Blue Devils. And now they lost both of them.
What is a fullback?
A fullback in soccer, in my terminology, is a defender who plays on the wing. So you can call them.
So like what
Coach-
Tyler does? Oh,
Yeah, what Tyler does is kind of a fullback position. Typically, a fullback can be
Yeah, that
also
hurt.
called a left back or a right back, as opposed to a center back. A center back
So-
is what Fernando is doing right now. Fernando and the 19 are both center backs. They're playing as two types of center backs. One's a sweeper, one's a stopper. But if you play in the center of defense, you're known as a center back. If you play on the side of defense, you're a fullback, i.e., a right back or a left back.
what position do you play?
Me, I don't like heading the ball, which means you're good if you're on the flank. So I'm a good fullback, or I used to be a good winger because I can cross the ball really well. I'm not too good at taking players on though, which reduces my attacking options. But
One player I think on Ellenville that actually is really good at going one-on-one with someone is Gavin.
Baxter,
Yeah.
he's good. No, I'm a good defender. I can read the game pretty well. I can read a pass both when I'm on defense and on offense pretty well. I used to be a really good winger because
I'm on the run here.
I used to be really good, really fast, but I'm not as young as I used to be. I'm not as fast as I used to be. So defense is better. As you get older, you kind of just migrate to the back. You're like, I got this. I can see everything
Oh
from
yeah,
back here.
definitely. That has to happen.
And I was never good. I was never a good forward, put it that way, or a striker. But
Spen is not giving up his shutout.
no, he's going for it. 14 minutes left. He's got to hold on to it.
Goalie's actually pretty, like one of the harder positions. A lot of pressure.
Absolutely. I was never a fan of playing
One
a
of the-
goal. I'm still not.
It's got to be one of the toughest, positions in soccer, in my opinion. It's a lot of pressure. You're up by one. There's a couple seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, you're right.
And they get the goal. It's whose fault it is besides secondly the goalie.
Yeah, and
It's
like
a lot of pressure.
I guess in the American sports, there's not. It's in the big three in terms of basketball, soccer, baseball. There's not really that equivalent of like one player who has a very unique position compared to everyone else.
Only
Like
player on the field is allowed to touch the ball
right,
with
it's
their
a very
hands, too.
unique. And you're right. So that one player can obviously, if he makes a bad mistake, which then it looks like the whole loss could kind of come down to one mistake he makes.
Yeah.
Which
You know-
sometimes is true, but usually it's more the team doesn't see it that way. More the team can be disappointed, but the team's like, well, we shouldn't have let the situation come down to like one mistake that you
Yeah.
made. The team should be prepared for the keeper to make a mistake. That kid better get off the field, the ball boy. But yeah, you're right. Like basketball doesn't have a goalkeeper, football doesn't have a goalkeeper. Football has a quarterback, but not quite the same as a goalkeeper.
Which is also a very tough position.
Yeah, it's like the most singled out position.
If the on the offensive side of the ball, if the quarterback is not with the program, doesn't have his head right, then
Right.
the whole entire the offense could just crash.
Right, and I guess in baseball, the closest thing, most individual position would be the pitcher, I guess, or the
Well,
batter. But everyone, there's a lot of
It
batters,
would be the
hitters.
catcher too. I think baseball it's a team sport, of course, but I feel like it's more individual
Mm.
than I feel like soccer, basketball, and football are more of a team sport than baseball.
Hmm.
But baseball is still a team sport, of course. But I feel like the pitchers and
Plays come
individual
down to
player-
individuality,
Yeah.
right? You play?
I mean, I tried.
You know-
It didn't go. It didn't go well. I
you know-
ended up with a ball to the eye.
Oh,
but
that turned you off.
probably still got the scar on my eye to this day.
I took a tennis ball. So when I was a kid in London, we used to play soccer on the playground with tennis balls because we weren't allowed to use soccer balls, because I guess they were too heavy. We could break windows. So we would play with tennis balls. And I
As a
remember
soccer ball.
as a soccer ball, and
That's
so
gangsta.
it bounces like crazy. But hey, that's good. It means you can volley it really nice. But I once took one, like he said, right to the eye socket. I think I had a black eye for a couple of days after that. But I know it hurt. I can still remember it. I was probably like 10 years old when that happened.
Yeah, Coach Cav, who's a varsity football coach, also was the varsity baseball coach.
Mm-hmm.
He we were in the gym. I think it was snowing at the time. We were in the gym. We were hitting ground balls. One ground ball he hit the grounder to me. I went to go jump it to make a play. The ball took a bounce.
Popped up,
Yeah.
slammed you in the face. And you're like, I'm done.
After that, I was like, I don't think baseball's for me.
I think I'll watch you guys practice from here on out.
Yeah. I was swollen for like a good 3 to 4 days.
Mm. Saugerties knocking on the door here, edge of the box. Ellenville gets it away, and Jeremiah can try to get there. 14's fast to come across.
Yeah, soccer players are usually very fast. It's a lot of ground to cover as well. Once you get that kick, you got to chase down the ball. Played soccer in gym. It's tiring.
It's funny you mentioned like what does a fullback mean? What was it doing? It's funny how in the three most popular forms of football are soccer, American football, and rugby. And in each of those sports, Saugerties now with the chance to score.
Oh, Spen was not letting it happen.
Number 17 there. That's Shan Sakon, freshman. But you're right, Spen up to the task. But yeah, in American football, there's
Spen's got the boot.
in American football there's a quarterback. In rugby, there's a halfback.
There's actually a fullback in American football too.
And then there's fullbacks in American football and in soccer. So it's interesting how you can see the origins of those games come from the same place because they all have these ideas of backs, whether you're half, full, or quarterback.
Oh.
Oh. 24, Jeremiah trying some skills. Inside 10 minutes now in the second half. I see a former Ellenville varsity player, Mr. Parada, down there.
I see Wesley. I think Wesley Cruz is down there too.
All right. Some of the old boys. I played soccer with those guys in the last year.
Where are they at? I just saw.
Oh, and I see Riley. Shout out to Riley. Shout out to
Wesley's
Dan.
over
Yeah, some of the old crew. And Wesley. Yeah, Wesley Cruz.
It's another
Lucas
one.
Berger.
Oh,
Ellenville now
oh.
with a chance at a second.
Oh.
I
He
just
already did.
gave you all shout outs. Berger, Cruz, Lake, Parada. What's up? I just did. 2.
You got all shout out.
Pitch conditions are a little wet, a little feet getting stuck a little bit, but not bad. A nice night for a soccer game. So you have some former Ellenville varsity boys soccer players here to cheer on the team, try to see out this victory.
Once I graduate, I'm gonna try to come to at least every varsity football game.
Yeah. It's nice to come back and cheer on the old team.
It's hit me a couple
help out.
times, like after a couple games. Like I remember the championship game in Tri Valley started tearing up a little bit. You're like, yo, this is really it. Senior year, probably won't play football again in my life.
So Nick was telling me that I remember like a week ago today we were talking about how the upcoming game with Tri Valley you were torn because obviously you wanted to win, but at the time you were under the impression if you lost it would guarantee you a home game, and yet it's worked out in your favor because you won the game and you're gonna have a home game next Saturday.
Got the site out of 8. There's 5 teams in each division. There's pretty much.
Oh, and a through ball now. Hemstreet can stay on his feet. He couldn't
4
stay on
teams
his
in our
feet.
division.
Always falling down. Poked it through.
Oh, so yeah, my fault. There is actually 6 teams in each division.
6 in each.
12 total. 8 teams make it in. We are the 2nd seed.
Right. So you'll definitely get a home game along with the first seed, and I guess the top 4 seeds each get a home game.
I think
right?
we're in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, it'll be a quarterfinal matchup next Saturday, a week on Saturday. And you'll find out their opponent after this Friday and Saturday's round of matches. Oh, a handball clearly there by Alex Pauly. And maybe the guy, Saugerties player, stepped on his foot.
So the only kind of like football you have in England besides soccer is rugby. You don't have like American football. That's only here.
Nah, well, as you're probably aware, if you know football, they've been playing at NFL games.
Oh yeah, they play in the soccer stadium.
In London the last few years. So the game is growing in popularity. I don't know. I imagine there's a couple of schools maybe that play American football, but not many.
I don't think they have a league though.
It's not. There used to be a what they used to call it, the British NFL basically. There used to be one, or the European NFL. I think it might still exist.
I know they have.
It's not big though. Not as big as soccer. And rugby is huge. And there's 2 kinds of rugby as well. There's 2 separate kinds of rugby. I'm not a big rugby fan, but there's rugby union.
That's a tough sport.
And there's rugby league. And when you're in school, you just play what's called rugby. And then at a certain point, you have to choose, I guess, whether you play rugby union rules or rugby league rules. I don't know. I don't even know the difference.
Is there a difference?
There is a difference. I couldn't tell you what it is because I don't care. I don't know enough about rugby. But there's 2 different World Cups. This is crazy. But that's a huge sport. Rugby is a big sport back home.
Isn't it in the Olympics too?
Rugby, I think they do play the Olympics. That's probably, I wouldn't like to say what kind of rules that is. Union used to be bigger than league, rugby union, but I don't know. And then of course there's cricket. In England they don't really care for they don't play baseball. They play cricket is a big summer sport. Chris Leone does well.
Every country has different sports. I've noticed that.
Yeah. So
Asian.
when I was in school, like every student, if you play PE, physical education, the 3 sports without doubt that you'll touch on in 4 or 5 years of high school. Ball into the box.
Almost.
Clipped up. Yeah, the sports everyone will play will be soccer, rugby, and cricket. Even if it's just for 1 year,
Here it's
you'll play.
soccer. I want to say soccer, football,
nice ball
basketball, but I might be wrong. It might be baseball in there.
Yeah,
too.
I mean baseball is a big summer sport here.
I think those are the 4 main sports though.
Yeah, well, basketball, football, and baseball are the big 3, and then you got soccer kind of competing with hockey to be number 4 these days.
Yeah. 4 minutes, 5 minutes left in the half.
Yeah, ball just,
Ellenville up 1-0 against Saugerties.
ball just went out on the far side for a throw. It's a very tight game here at the football field, under the lights. Chris
Oh.
Leone
That one looked like that.
took a fall right, and maybe a slight. I don't think he got hit too bad. Just fell awkwardly. Sorry, not Chris Leone. It might be the 16, young man Brian Lazo. Heavy ball. Look at that into the right to the box. Keeper comes
Ooh.
right out to catch it. Back
These
to
keepers got hands.
Yeah, he's
Gotta
had a
give it
good.
to him.
He's had a very good game. To be fair, only conceded 1. Dan McKissack. He's had a good game. He's had a fair few shots to save, a few more than Spen, but even Spen, when he's been tested a good 3, 4, 5 times, has been.
Spen's gotten himself out of some couple sticky situations.
He's been up to the task. 4 minutes to go now.
Oh, look at that. Gonna play the whole game. Yep. Gonna stay the whole game.
Unless there's the equalizer, Chris. Unless
Oh, there
Saugerties,
could be,
if
there
Saugerties
could
get a goal in the
be.
next 3.5 minutes, we're going to go to overtime.
Oh, no. It is cold here.
It is. That's why I brought my hat and my gloves and my scarf and my jacket.
Ellenville Scott. I represent.
Ellenville Blue Devils. Of course.
How long you been working at the school, Mr. B?
2008. So
2008.
11 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
I used to live in Ellenville when I was like younger, like 3, 4, and then I moved up to Albany,
Really?
and then I came back in like 7th grade.
Oh, now if we mention Saugerties are going to get look for the
Spen
goal.
better get back in the goal.
Chris Leone does well not to give away a foul. And Saugerties there. And they've still got the
there's
ball.
One down. Dropping like flies over
Double
here.
block by Lamandola. And now the
Oh.
22 might strike this. No, he lays it across. Elmo's got to get this
They need to
ball
get
out.
the ball out of there. That's dangerous. Oh, comes right back.
Now he can.
better-
Hemstreet doesn't realize the
Oh.
18's right there. Gives it away.
Playing terrific defense.
Yeah, Elmo stressed right now.
Just how much running it is. It's just,
And now Lamandola can
oh,
clear
gets
it.
it out of there.
And there might be
That
a,
buys him some time.
yeah, keeper's going to come out of
Oh,
his box. Can't
oh.
pick it up. Good call to someone from the crowd. I like that. Yeah, keeper could not pick that up. Ooh, and it went out
You
for
can
a
definitely
throw.
tell Ellenville fans do not come out for the cold.
And this is sections.
Unless it's sections, yes.
Sections would be different. This is the regular season game. Not so much.
Yeah, this actually tomorrow.
Well, it is cold, as you mentioned.
Yeah, what's
When it's nice warm weather, people are more likely to come out. But
Yeah, actually, this Saturday was actually supposed to be
homecoming
homecoming for the
game.
seniors,
Correct.
but Eldred's football team. Actually, they only had 9 players, but the with how much you need in 8-man is 12. But what's actually oh my goodness,
Nice chest.
I think that was the fade.
Chest trap. It was a chest trap.
But what's actually really like crazy is 3 of Eldred's football players ended up moving to Roscoe, so they went to Roscoe Central School, and that
And then so Eldred's
those three-
program just
yeah,
dropped.
those 3 players they could have had enough.
So yeah, there will be no football game this. Oh, he was gonna have to get this
Oh,
one.
oh.
Spend.
Good
Yeah.
save, good save.
No 8-man football game this weekend for homecoming weekend. There will be a soccer game this Saturday. They were able to add a game to follow on from this Saturday's Hall of Fame induction ceremony, which takes place at noon.
Yeah.
It's Spirit Week right there this week in the Ellenville Central School
Yes,
District.
tomorrow's class color day.
So seniors are going to wear what?
That was an amazing move by Gavin.
Yeah, nice turn by the 24. He goes
Oh.
down. That's nice footwork by the 24 for Ellenville. And we've got a minute to go here. I'm going to stop the clock so that no one looks at my scoreboard and gets confused. So that was nice skill by Jeremiah Irwin. We got like a minute to go here.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, it's the whole, this week is Spirit Week. Tomorrow is Class Colors Day, you're right. And then tomorrow is a pep rally, if the weather's not bad, I hope.
I will
It's
be
gonna be
introduced. Me and
outdoors.
the football players will be introduced to the pep rallies
Yeah.
along with the varsity soccer players,
And
field
then-
hockey, cross country, golf, all the teams.
And then tomorrow night is a homecoming dance
Yes.
at the school.
7 to 10, I think.
7 to 10 sounds about right. And then say Saturday midday Hall of Fame induction ceremony at noon, and then following that around 1 o'clock, I'm guessing, will be a varsity soccer game right here at the same football field we're on right now.
Hopefully, I'll be here commentating with you.
Well, I won't be here on that
Oh,
day,
you
so you
won't.
can commentate by yourself if you want.
Oh, you guys aren't. Oh, they're not videoing the game.
But we'll probably record it. We just won't be commentating it. But hey, Chris, if you've had a good time and want to commentate the next game without me, you go right ahead.
Okay.
Ellenville can get a killer goal here, make it 2.
Seal the game.
Yeah, seconds left. Leon smashes it deep. And the referee must be checking their watches now because
Yeah, game's almost over.
the game is definitely almost over. Saugerties trying
Really
to...
tough game tonight, actually. A lot of defense. A
Yeah,
lot of
it's
defense.
been close.
Then again, it always defense wins championships, but it comes down to those defensive mistakes.
Oh, why not?
As long as Ellenville keeps the ball on the other side of the field, they should be good.
Yeah, if you get a shot at the scoreboard, you can see that flag is whipping. It's quite windy out there.
Oh, it's definitely windy.
And the heavy ball through now.
Oh,
Spen might have one
come on.
more chance.
Oh.
Oh, he stays on his line. Now he comes out.
Oh, dives for it, grabs it.
And the 33 goes down. Mark Danza, senior, couldn't quite put the pressure on.
Spencer's that got it. And look at that. He has a boot, too. That's about like what?
What's it?
That's from the 10? That's like almost a 50-yarder.
Yep. And there is
That
your
is the
full-time
game.
whistle. Ellenville wins 1-0.
Close game.
Very close game.
Tough game.
Tough game. Credits to Saugerties. As we mentioned, coming into this game, they were the underdogs heavily, but they just came into this game and did not give up, gave it their all, and almost pushed
Amazing
Ellenville.
game by Spen at goalie.
Yeah, and Spain came up big for Ellenville. And in his the opposite goal with the bright orange shirt for Saugerties had a good game, but only 1 goal conceded for Dan McClissack. So he'll be disappointed that he conceded 1, but pleased that it wasn't more than that. So a victory for the Blue Devils is what the Blue Devil fans came here to see, and that's what they got. So we are done here, done for YouTube. Thank you so much to everyone for tuning in. Thank you, Christian, for joining me in the commentary.
Thank you, Mr. B, for having me.
No problem. Thank you to Nick and yourself for commentating. Thanks to Tans, Jules,
Heather. Yep.
and yourself and Nick for doing a little bit of camera work throughout the game. We appreciate all your help, and we are done here. So I'm going to have you turn the mics off. We will catch you for the next game on YouTube, and we'll catch you soon.